Hello everyone, thanks for coming back for the fifth tutorial of HDPCD series. In the last tutorial we saw how to import data based on a custom query, and in this tutorial we are going to see how to import the data directly into a Hive table. So it's a slight extension to the objectives or the tutorials that we are doing till now. Instead of storing data directly in HDFS, we are going to store the output in Hive table. So there are few advantages of doing this. The first one is you don't have to create an external Hive table. If you follow this process, you don't have to create the schema for that Hive table. So as soon as you are done importing the data into your Hive table, you can just run any query like select queries or where clauses to get the sense about the data that you imported just now. Let's get started then. So in this tutorial we are going to import the data present in customers table, as you can see here. So if you do visit my blog, you'll be able to find this post about the Hive import, and I have created a snippet over there with the command that we are going to use for doing the Hive import. So let us look at the table which we want to import. So we want to import the data from a customers table in MySQL retail DB database with the username retaildba and password being Hadoop, right? So let us log into MySQL to get a sense of data that we want to actually import. So I'll log in like this, and then I'll use the database called retaildb, and then I can say show tables. So as you can see, there are 6 tables, so out of which we have chosen to import data from the customers table. So let us take a look at the customer table data structure. So I'll type describe command customers. So as you can see, there are a total of 9 columns present in customer table. So once we are done with the sqoop Hive import, then the resultant or the target Hive table should also contain 9 columns. And just to tell you the total number of records that present in customer table, so it is 12,435 records. So basically the Hive table should also contain these many records. Just to show you how sample record looks like, I can do limit 2 just to see top 2 records. So the customer ID is 1, name is Richard, last name is Hernandez, email is not visible, password is not visible for security purpose. We have the address, city, state and zip code. This tells us about the input data being in MySQL table. So since we have got the sense how our input looks like, let us dive into the command which we are going to use in order to import this data from MySQL into a Hive table. So for that I'll start my notepad and I'll go to my blog using Google Chrome. So I'll just copy this command and paste it in notepad. So as you can see, there are these spaces. I don't know, maybe because of the formatting issue. So I'll just remove that to hyphen. So as you can see, I removed those hyphen to look like a correct command. Now let us go through each line one by one, and then we will be good to execute the command once we understand what we are actually doing. So as I already mentioned in the last tutorial, the first line is an indication of a sqoop import operation, so you don't have to change that. Backslash indicates that the command is continued on the next line. The second line starts with the connection parameter. So since sqoop is a Java project, we will pass the JDBC connection. The database type is MySQL, so it will be followed by MySQL. Then I have something called as sandbox.hortonworks.com, which is the machine name or the host name of the system on which MySQL is installed. So you have to pass that. The default port number on which MySQL runs is 3306, and followed by the database to which you want to connect or in which your customers table is located. Then again backslash, so we'll continue in the next line. We have username hyphen hyphen username followed by the actual username of the user which has permission to connect to the customers table, right? So after username we have to pass the password also, which is Hadoop in this case. Then this is the differentiating factor between previous tutorial and this tutorial. Hyphen hyphen hive hyphen import indicates that it's a Hive import operation. So Sqoop will understand that apart from loading the data to HDFS, it should also create the Hive table on top of that data, so that as soon as the import operation is done, user will be able to do select star command in order to view the output. Okay, so this command ensures that Hive table is created on the top of imported data. And last but not the least, you have to pass the table name in MySQL database which you want to import. So this table name is used for two purposes. First is Sqoop will know which tables data it wants to import, and the second one is Hive table will also be created on the same name, so you don't have to pass the Hive table name externally. So if this command is clear, I'll copy this and paste it in terminal window, and I'm going to hit enter. So it will start the import operation, and we will wait for some time till it gives us the output. So as you can see, the records are imported. Now Sqoop is trying to create the Hive table. So once it is successful in creating the Hive table, we'll go to Hive and check about the status of the import operation. So as you can see, it has given us that the table is created and data is loaded into the table. So let us go to Hive and do select star from customer limit 2, just to get an idea. So it is correct, and I'll do select count of star to get the total number of records. So as you can see, a total number of 12,435 records are imported into the Hive table. So this concludes that the total number of records in MySQL table are exactly similar to the total number of records in the Hive table. And we can conclude this tutorial over here. So just to recap, what did we see? So we first checked the input data in our MySQL table. Then we saw the import command then we saw the Sqoop import statement which we used in order to load the data from your MySQL table into the Hive table. Then the import operation started off like, it first imported the data from MySQL, it pushed it to HDFS, then Sqoop itself logged into Hive, created the Hive table on top of the imported data, and then we logged into Hive to check whether the structure is okay or not, the schema is okay or not, and the total number of records that were imported is similar or not. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial. I hope the tutorials are helping you to understand how to execute each and every task. You can click here to subscribe to my channel, you can click here to visit my website, and you can click on any of the suggested videos to saw other tutorials. So see you again, stay tuned, and in the next tutorial we are going to see how to do the Sqoop export operation. So stay tuned, have fun, bye bye.